Midwest Truckers Independent Broadcasting Network. We can get going. Tonight, TBM presents The Brew with TJ, Baby Doll, and Miss Nurse Patty and our new addition.
Oh, let me
look
get
at
him
him.
front and center.
Front and center.
There you go.
Mr. Jedi. Say hi, Jedi.
Say hi.
We have a new witch in the house.
new
A
witch
warlock.
in
A
the house.
warlock.
Yeah.
I thought the pets were familiars, but okay.
Well, they are.
Well, they might be. I don't know.
He's adorable. Tonight we're going to bring you the latest trucking, political, and strange news, because we always have some strange stuff. Oh, yeah. And we'll also probably bring them either it's going to be the ass of the week or the hero of a week. It could go either way, because we never know which way.
A hero? Oh,
We
we
could
ain't
have
had one of them.
We can have heroes, don't we?
Oh, heroes. I
Yes.
thought you said heroin or something.
She's losing her mind over here.
Hell, that's
Before we
been
get started,
going.
please support the following groups. Trucks, Tough, it's Truckers United for Freedom. Take a look at the web page, the group page. There's always some interesting information about all the things that we do in Washington and everything else that's kind of going on in the trucking world. Sovereign Rose with Ron Stinson. Truckers for Christ with Stephen Myers. Truckers Black with Blue, it's John G. Truckers Final Mile, it's Robert Palm. Trucks with Room to Spare is Shelley Conway. And Real Woman in Trucking, Desiree Wood. And certainly, last but not least, is our friend Matt Kane with RightLoad.com. You can find our show on YouTube, Spreaker, and Twitter. If you like us, please hit share and like or whatever. If you don't, doesn't matter because we're going to still be on anyways. That's my attitude. Happy Mother's Day to everyone out there. Hope everyone's had a great day. It's kind of like, I think mothers should get 2 days, should get presents on 2 days. It should be on Mother's Day and on the day that you actually gave birth to a child, right? Because that's...
You do get a present the day you give birth.
No. If we were royalty...
Come on, that's what they
royalty, if you're royalty and you're in that upper echelon of the scheme of things, the woman is presented with jewels. Am I right? They get a jewel. They get jewelry. They get diamonds or emeralds. Or,
guess what? These damn redneck men wouldn't know what that shit is.
So,
they go, what? She buys her own flowers. I don't need to give her any.
We saved all of our beer tabs for you for a necklace.
No, my husband gives me money to buy my flowers because he knows I'm going to get what I like. So that's always a good thing. My husband's good that way. I want to give a quick shout out to the G's. I hear that they're well again. Mr. and Mrs. G, glad to hear that you're well. I hope things didn't hit you too hard, because that just sucked, getting COVID.
Leland, it's about damn time you showed back up. You've been missing you, actually. Linda, it's nice to see you, girlfriend. Glad you back on the road, but then I seen a post that you was wondering why the hell you was back on the road. You got me confused.
Yeah. We're going to start with a Ohio 80 truck stop. They're going to host a COVID-19 vaccine clinic. Starting on Monday through the 16th. And Walcott, Ohio, the Ohio Truck Stop VB Pharmacy to offer COVID-19 clinics. So the clinics are going to be open to anyone ages 18 and over and will be conducted on the third floor of the main building at the Ohio 80. Both the Pfizer and the Johnson & Johnson single-shot vaccines will be offered. And the clinic dates are Monday from 2 to 4. Now, this is not. They're doing this for truck drivers, and I love this part.
Yeah.
Monday, 2 to 4. Thursday, May 13th, 5 to 8. Friday, May 14th, 5 to 8. Saturday, May 15th, 5 to 8. And Sunday, May 16th, 5 to 8. And it says to make an appointment vaccine during the Ohio clinics visit, you've got to go to Iowa80truckstop.com/vaccine. Okay, we all have really a lot of time to do that. Walk-ins are also welcome. If you have any questions about an appointment or the vaccines, you can call the Hy-Vee Pharmacy at 563-359-3120. Good luck with getting your shots because, no, I'm not going to subject myself to that until I know what's everything clear. And my son was so kind to send me a not having to wear a mask thing. Did you guys see those? I showed you guys those.
Oh, yeah.
I should have brought one up to the studio.
I'm looking forward to confiscating one of them.
I'm sure you are. Now, the next one this is a really sad one. A truck driver takes his own life during a Minnesota truck stop. My condolences go out to his family and his friends and anybody that was involved in this. In Rochester, Minnesota, after a semi-truck vehicle inspection lasted about an hour and 45 minutes in Minnesota, the driver of the vehicle took 2 self-inflicted gunshots to the head. The driver was transported to St. Mary's Hospital where he was pronounced dead. According to the Minnesota Department of Public Safety, troopers assigned to the Minnesota State Patrol Commercial Vehicle Unit stopped the semi for an inspection at Rochester's Miracle Mile Shopping Center parking lot around 6:45 a.m. on Wednesday, May 5th. At about 8:30 a.m., troopers attempted to detain the driver for failing to produce identification. The inspection took place during the Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance International Road Check, an initiative during which law enforcement steps up inspections of commercial motor vehicles. It is not clear whether this particular inspection was related to the road check. Audio from the 911 call placed after the gunshot was released on local media outlets. He just shot himself, said one caller. Get medical coming, get medical coming. He looks like he's slumped over, another caller said. Can you see inside the cab at all through a freeway camera, one caller asked dispatch. There are signs in that way for that, dispatch responded. The Rochester Police Department said no trooper fired their weapons or injured. The troopers conducting the inspection are currently on paid administrative leave. An investigation is now underway by the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehensions and the Rochester Police Department. The BCA and the Minnesota State Patrol were contacted for more information but did not respond to comments request. Anyone in crisis who needs help is encouraged to call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline at 800-273-8255. The hotline is free and is absolutely confidential, and their support is 24/7. When I was in my 30s, I worked on one of these hotlines, and you can call and talk to anyone. They are staffed 24 hours a day. It doesn't matter how small you think the issue is, or if someone's, whatever your feelings are, give somebody on that line a call. It's really, they really can help you out.
But it still just blows me away that, I mean, he's in a roadside inspection and pulls the trigger on himself during an inspection.
Well, he had no identification, so we don't really know what was going on.
I know, you just will not know. It's terrible.
We don't even know if that truck, if he had stolen the truck. They don't know anything.
Well,
There's
yeah.
no information coming out at all, so we'll have to wait to see. The next news is the Montana law increases penalties for reckless driving around emergency personnel. And I have a big pet peeve for it. I was working on a survey crew back in the early 90s, and we had all the cones set up. We had the highway shut off. Everybody was being rude around us, except for this one man decided, he was a banker, and he decided he did not want to be held up on his way to work. Came through, and one of our crew, one of our rod person, the policeman pushed me out of the way. Two of us got out of the way, but that other guy could not make it out of the way. He was killed instantly. So,
yep.
Truck drivers, we know when you're either speeding around a construction site, you can move the barrels. Anything can happen. You need to be really careful. But in Billings, Montana, the bill that strengthens penalties for drivers endangering first responders and highway workers has now been signed into law.
Yep.
Governor Greg Jennifer signed the measure April 29th, increasing fines for reckless driving around emergency to a maximum of $500 for a first offense and $1,000 for the second offense. Now, I think that's too low. I think it should be $1,000 for the first and up beyond that, because let's face it, it only takes a second to kill somebody.
Especially if you're running through a construction zone speeding and you're a professional driver.
Exactly.
Yes. The penalty, I'm sorry, should be way up there.
Way up there. I think so too. Now, the next one we have this is what's been going around on everybody, okay? The Department of Labor withdrew independent contractor ruling from the truck industry, and it kind of weighs in. Effective on May 6th of this year, the U.S. Department of Labor has withdrawn the independent contractor rule. When the Department of Labor initially purchased the rule in February and the register January 7th of 21, during the final days of Donald Trump's presidency, the agency noticed that it was revising its independent contractor status about the Fair Labor Standard Act. The FLSA to promote certainty for stakeholders, including the trucking industry, as well as an effort to reduce litigation and encourage innovation in this economy. The January 7th rule sought to define the difference between an employee and an independent contractor, noting the ultimate inquiry is whether, as a matter of economic reality, the worker is dependent on a particular individual, business, or organization for work, and thus is an employer, or is in business for him or herself, and thus is an independent contractor. In a May 5th announcement, the DOL said the withdrawal of the independent contractor would maintain workers' rights to minimum wage and overtime compensation under the FLSA. In addition, the DOL cited the following reasons for the withdrawal of the January 7th independent contractor rule. The independent contractor rule was in tension with the FLS text and purpose as well as relevant judicial precedent. The rule prioritization of two core factors for determining employee status under the FLSA would have undermined the long-standing balancing approach of the economic relatives test and court decision requiring a review of the totality of the circumstances related to the employment relationship. The rule would have narrowed the facts and considerations, compromising the analysis of whether a worker is an employee or an independent contractor, resulting in workers losing the FLSA protections.
Right.
By withdrawing the independent contractor rule, we will help preserve essential workers' rights and stop the erosion of worker protection that would have occurred had the rule gone into effect, said U.S. Secretary of Labor Marty Walsh in the DOA May 5th announcement. Legitimate business owners play an important role in our country, but too often workers lose important wage and related protections when employees misclassify them as independent contractors. We remain committed to ensuring that employees are recognized clearly and correctly when they are, in fact, employees, so that they receive the protection that the Fair Labor Standard Act provides. Because the independent contractor rule was never implemented, its withdrawal should have negligible impact on the trucking industry. Then OIDA on May 5th expressed disappointment with the withdrawal of the rule, noting that it could have provided security for owner-operators who want to retain their status as independent contractors rather being reclassified as employees in certain situations. The department's final rule, for the most part, would have helped provide new certainty and clarity to owner-operators. While there were certainly some provisions that needed to be fixed, they could have been done without the wholesale withdrawal of the rule. Pew pointed to California's Assembly Bill 5, AB 5, which uses a three-pronged test to determine a worker's status as an example to the issues that could arise. As seen with the disastrous rolls of the ABC test in California, the implementation of one-size-fits-all rules for workers' classification just won't work in the trucking industry. The independent contractor rule issued by Trump would provide some protection against this from happening on a national scale, and we were disappointed that the rule was being withdrawn. Teamsters Union General President Jim Hoffa, in a written statement, praised the action of the rule. What the union contends would enable companies to misclassify employees as contractors, relieving the companies of any obligation to pay federal minimum wage or overtime. The American workers' quest for dignity and respect in recent years has fallen largely on deaf ears, while the Teamsters and other unions have been active in protesting the continued misclassification of workers and have found some success at the state level. Too many federal elected officials have refused to intervene, Hoffa said. Thankfully, that is changing. Hoffa described that January 7th independent contractors rule as an anti-worker proposal, adding that by rescinding the rule, President Biden's administration has the back of American workers. This nation is at its best when workers can work one job that allows them to support their families, Hoffa said. President Biden understands this, and we look forward to working with him so we can continue to forge a path towards creating a bigger and better middle class. Chad Fuller of Arkansas-based owner-operator said he doesn't expect the independent contractor versus employee debate to affect his business or livelihood. However, he noted, owner-operators participating in lease purchase programs, such as the ones offered by many larger characters, will probably find themselves being classified as employees. I own my truck, it's paid for, I book my own loads, he explained, adding that this holds true even though he is leased to a small carrier. He says, I'm an independent character, which I am, because I don't answer to anybody. For FOIA, the primary factor in determining a driver's status boils down to the driver's ability to select, accept, or refuse a load. Fowler said building relationship with brokers, as well as checking load board postings, has enabled his ability to secure loads on his own. If you have to answer to anybody, or you have a dispatcher, or they tell you, hey, go get this, and you don't have a choice, you are an employee, he explained. And I think that's kind of true.
Well, and that's where the PRO Act came. This is part of the PRO Act, right?
Yes.
Yes. And I understand that because I work for a company, and anybody that knows me knows the company I work for, but I'm not going to name it. But, I mean, you got so many lease programs out there, and there's, I straddle this because I understand what they're saying, because technically, being a lease operator, you're leased on, you can't take your truck nowhere, you can't, you got to run what they haul. You're not technically an independent contractor, even though it says we are. Yeah. And the more I study up on this act stuff, it's the scale tips, because I feel bad for the company I work for, because if this PRO Act fails or passes, I can't remember, but I mean they're gonna lose a lot of money. But on the other hand, as a driver, as a lease operator, it would probably be a better thing.
Well, I know when this hit a few years back, or could have been 20 years ago, or whatever, similar to what's already in Congress about this, you're going to take your land surveyors, you're going to take your plumbers, your electricians, your HVAC guys. They all have to do so many years to earn their license, to become a master electrician, to become a land surveyor. I mean, there's a lot of testing, there's a lot of things going on. And what saved them from this, because let's face it, sometimes a survey company is the license and he needs 3 or 4 employees, but you can't keep covering them with all the taxes, what is that? All the taxes, everything has to come along with it. So what they did was to get around this law, they decided they would change jobs. Like for 2 weeks, we'd have this kid for 2 weeks. Then 2 weeks later, he'd go to another survey company. They would keep going around. So they were never full-time employees. They worked on a 1099. And the plumbers did that. The electricians did that. HVAC guys did that. The sheetrockers did that, because when you're just starting out at starting your own business, your own company, sometimes you can't hire on 3 or 4 or 5 employees until you build up. So that's how they get around that.
What's really bad is you got some of these trucking companies that do have employees that I just recently worked at, and we won't name names, but they didn't pay overtime at all. It was straight pay. But you worked your ass to the dirt, the same as being out on the road, and you barely made $500 or $600 a week working 70, 80 straight hours.
That was another thing.
So I hope they get a kick in the butt from this.
Well, that also can be turned. And if you haven't done your taxes yet, there's an extra lot of write-offs for truck drivers. You make sure you can write off so much for your clothes for the year, so much for everything. And if you do not get a tax return on time, or you didn't get it on time, the IRS will pay you. It used to be $100 for turning in your employee for not complying with the law to make sure you had everything you need.
$100 ain't worth ratting on anybody.
Well, are you kidding? If that guy didn't give you your tax stuff.
His is coming.
He got it coming.
Yeah, he's got it coming.
Because not only that, there's a penalty on that, and trust me, they keep giving you more rewards because you end up having to pay because he didn't give
Oh
you
yeah,
extra.
your time's coming. I promise you.
Yeah.
Just when you least expect it.
But now, that was our trucking news, so we're going to move on.
Okay.
Because I got to tell you, Dr. Fauci has some explaining
Oh
to do.
my God! Here we go
Yeah,
again.
Dr. Fauci. It's like,
The idiot.
you get some explaining.
You
As
wear
we
two
all
masks
know.
and choke.
As we know, President Trump and his administration have said for over a year that China's involvement in the origin of COVID-19 should be investigated. Well, if you remember, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, CBS, Trump's just a liar, yada, 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 the whole 9 yards. So throughout this pandemic, they pointed to the possibility of a lab error at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. And throughout the pandemic, liberals in the media and in politics claimed that was absolutely crazy. I mean, come on, that was crazy. Now it seems they may have to walk it back as more and more has come to the surface. Oh, big surprise there, right?
Right?
Yeah, he might want a little treat.
Oh, yeah.
Miss Patty, you awful quiet tonight.
in Congress are now pushing the Biden administration to provide details on everything the government knows about the origins of the virus and pointing their little fingers at Dr. Anthony Fauci. Personally, for his support for U.S. funding going to the Wuhan clinics. In the letter to Fauci, in the NIH written by Representative Mike Gallagher of Wisconsin, he questions Fauci's relationship with the lab. Yeah, let me think. If they keep going back to all during the 90s and the early 2000s and in the last 10 years, oh yeah, there's been so much money given to Dr. Fauci by the Obama administration and everybody else to work on these different types of viruses.
And we're surprised.
While many in the scientific community were quick to dismiss the possibility that COVID-19 outbreak originated with a laboratory leak in Wuhan, China, information initially released by the Trump State Department and later confirmed by the Biden administration suggests much closer examination is needed. Oh boy, did we know that, right, lady?
Right.
Yeah. I guess all of us in America are just dumb because because the media told us that Trump was wrong.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And now Biden
Yeah.
is figuring out that Trump was right, but we can't say Trump was right because that would make everybody else wrong. I don't know how that works. Well, he then pressed Dr. Fauci on exactly how much government funding has gone to the Wuhan clinic. How much of it could have gone towards research that incurred a virus like COVID-19 gain a function of research. You have argued over the years that the gain of function research is a risk worth taking, given the potential benefits for the creation of vaccines and therapeutics. Asking Fauci directly, does the COVID-19 pandemic and the possibility of a leak from the WIV raise questions? Ask the future and the future prudence of gain of function research. How can we quantify the risk associated with this type of research in the future? Practically, when it comes to non-transparent countries like China, and at what point does this research simply become too risky? The NI responded to Gallagher's letter earlier this year, told the Washington Examiner that the Wuhan lab is not an NIJ grantee. They only received the grant as part of a sub-award from Alcohol Advance. As Congress continues to push this issue, there's no doubt the left will have to backtrack on their narrative. Eventually, they will have to admit, yes, COVID did come from the Chinese lab, which excuse me, which is exactly, thank you, which is exactly what Trump always said, and exactly what they said he was crazy for saying, and exactly what Dr. Fauci has denied for 1+ years.
Right.
Still, no one will pay for it.
And they
The only ones who
still
pay for
deny.
it- the only ones who are going to pay for it is all of us listening tonight, and everybody else will go.
Right.
Well, it's
But they're still denying that Obama was in China February before it came out in America in March. So why the hell was he over there in China?
Right.
And then boom, all of a sudden,
Right.
here we go.
And we knew
And he
about-
said something about this 5 years ago that we needed to make
Well,
a
I
plan
wanna
for
know why.
pandemics.
That's right. I want to know why Gates and Fauci and all these people, yes, 5 years ago, even 10 years ago, then we started practicing disaster plans.
Yeah.
In schools, we started them.
Yeah.
Hospitals started them.
Mhm.
Airlines have started
Yeah.
them. Now, why was that?
Why?
Now, I think these at-risk, I think what they're doing, trying to find different diseases. Is this a germ warfare? Is this what it could be? It could be germ warfare.
I call it bioterrorism.
Bioterrorism. Yeah, I'm
Bioterrorism.
sure that it is.
That's a good one.
treason.
And look what they just did. Yes, for treason.
Bioterrorism.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And look
Which
what.
is pretty much, I think, the same as germ warfare. I mean, you've
Yeah,
introduced
yes,
a
yeah.
highly contagious, item, ingredient of sorts that, impact not only
So
human
are
beings,
y'all
but
saying Fucci could actually be charged with treason for?
No one will pay for this.
Right,
Bill
exactly.
Gates has way too much money.
Yeah.
Soros has way too much money. The elite has way too much. If you notice, it wasn't the elite and their grandparents getting COVID.
Right.
It was all your middle class. It was your elderly, your
Yeah.
middle class. And now, and this pisses me off. I think I might have it in here tonight. I'm not sure. What really pisses me off is crazy old Obama. I was never an
Yeah.
Obama fan, and people will say to me, "Well, you're a racist." Why? Because I don't like his policies.
Right.
Has nothing to do with him being black, because he's not all black. He's white too. So I can't
Yeah.
say anything about that.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyways, beside the point was, he is now doing a commercial. Has anybody seen that commercial yet?
No.
Where he speaks to children.
Yeah.
Encouraging kids over the age of 2. He speaks to them and he speaks down on their level to get a shot. So they can help make sure Grammy stays safe.
Yeah.
You're fucking kidding
You're
me?
fucking joking, right?
No. I wish I wasn't. I wish I
Hell,
wasn't.
what's
right.
worse?
That's right.
Encouraging your child to be
Yep.
Well,
different
first of all,
before they're even mature enough, and now you're gonna.
Who does
Oh,
Barack and
God.
Michelle think they are, anyways? Because I want to know. Did you give your 2 daughters who are in their childbearing years to make sure they took their shots?
Yeah.
Because the odds are no. You may lie to us, but I'm sure that they didn't, because we have no clue what's going to happen to our child, to these women and young men in their, for childbearing, when you're screwing around with the RM factors, with the MR
Right.
factors. We don't know. They don't know, and they will tell you they don't know. A doctor will actually say, "I don't know what's going to happen." So yeah, you're not
Did
going to
we
start
ever
telling.
see a picture of, I call him B.O., of him receiving the vaccine?
Well,
Do
you know
you remember
something.
seeing an ad or a...
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
But you know what was interesting? Nurse Patty and I had this discussion one day at lunch, because she's a registered nurse. I
Yeah.
started nurses school. I went to nursing school and decided I was going to be a teacher, because I got to be honest. I give credit to nurses because I can't take people throwing up. I just can't. I can't do it, okay? That's my weakness. I don't care. I had this little baby started to throw up, and she threw up cottage cheese in my hand. That was it. That was it for me. I can't do it. I just can't. There's people, people can't do what I do for a job. So that's
Right,
everybody
right.
has their
No,
own.
yeah.
I would have every kid strung up by their head.
But anyways,
Well,
when I was
my
taught
bubble
to give
box want to.
when I was taught to give a shot, tell me if I'm wrong, you clean the area, you roll the sleeve, you clean the area, you bulk up the muscle a little bit. You're going to get right here in the muscle. So I was really curious when I'm watching them give Joe Biden his shot. They only brought his sleeve up to like here, like right up a
Right.
couple inches above the elbow,
Yeah.
when you're supposed to be up here. I mean,
Right.
that was my always impression.
Well,
the
that's the
muscle up here.
deltoid muscle, and that's
Yes,
where you
exactly.
give the intramuscular injection.
Okay,
Right.
that's what I was taught. And I was taught if you're given a vaccine, you don't hold the needle up and squirt out anything.
Yeah.
Okay? Am I right?
That's correct.
I always thought that you
Besides
don't,
which-
you don't want to lose the dosage that's in that
Right.
needle.
Well, the
I mean,
doses of these are 0.3
Okay.
cc's. So
Okay.
that is,
A
this
tiny,
much.
yeah.
I mean, this much. So, and shame on you for wasting a dose. I mean, if you pulled up 0.6 and you need to squirt out, no. I mean,
But I was just amazed because when
Yeah.
she was supposed to give the shot, you would give the shot like I'm going to give her a shot.
Yeah.
I'm left-handed. I would be going like this, okay?
Right.
Well, funny, she
Yeah.
didn't put her hand there. She put the shot this way and did like this, and she's
Right.
smiling at the camera. So
Yeah.
yeah, he didn't get no shot.
He ain't got no shot.
And how about the guy who, and I don't know who it was, who was allegedly getting the shot, but, and they, camera got up close and quite personal, and you see the needle go in the skin. There wasn't anything in the barrel of the syringe. There was
Right.
no fluid whatsoever. So the person just held it there and then took it out. So that person got a pinch and that's it. No, there was no vaccine given. There was zero fluid in the barrel of
Right.
that.
Well, what about the girl, the nurse or whatever, that actually took the shot on camera and was sitting there talking about how great it was, and then she faints.
Oh.
I mean, she passes out on the camera.
Yeah,
It really happened.
Yeah.
For real. She was so
Very good.
excited about it. She really did take the shot.
Yeah.
It
She
fell
was
over.
so excited she had like him, a vagal symptom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm going to run down there right now.
All of these medications are clear. So is sterile water. So
Yeah.
is sterile saline.
Yeah.
You don't know what's in there when they
Uh-uh.
show it on TV.
Hey Jojo,
All right.
I know it's stuff.
Hi,
It's-
Joe.
I don't know. So
Mark,
the
Scott.
taking the shot.
That Fauci's income is $401,000 a year, and he's been on the payroll for quite some time, years.
Oh my God. Well,
Yes.
I felt it was wrong when last year we're all locked down and he's sitting in Fenway Park. His friend, him, and his wife didn't have their mask on. They were because they were drinking soda. But we all had to sit 6 feet apart. Okay. They all sat together. There's thousands of seats at Fenway Park.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
You three sit together, laughing and having a great time for yourself. But
About
yet,
like
none of
this.
us could see anybody. So
Right.
I figured, you're just a big joker, and I'll see what happens. I'm the type that's gonna hold out anyways, because that's how I am. That's how I roll.
Yeah.
I ain't taking a shot. I'm a big chicken. Unless I can do it myself.
Yeah.
Well, there was something very interesting about, as you all know, this caught my eye, and as being a teacher, I couldn't help but laugh about this. Hunter Biden is going to teach college students a course on fake news.
What?
Hunter Biden.
Oh, my
Tulane
God. The
University.
crackhead?
Tulane
Whoa,
University
yeah.
in New Orleans, Louisiana, announced that President Joe Biden's son, Hunter, will help teach students about the issue of fake news later this year. Okay?
Oh, my
As Fox
frickin'
News
God.
reports, media polarization and public policy impacts is a course that focuses on the current state of the media landscape in the United States and how media polarization, fake news, and the economics of the new business impact public policy making in Washington, D.C. We all know that. We all know who's pulling the strings there. According to the Daily Wire, Hunter Biden is one of many guest speakers scheduled to contribute to the course during the fall of 2021 semester. Out of the 7 planned speakers, only one is from a conservative leaning news outlet. Well, that's a big surprise, right?
Wow.
Some people are confused about the university including Hunter Biden in such a discussion, as he is not a member of the media in any capacity. Tulane University has not made it clear exactly why they chose him as a speaker. The
Right.
reason could be that the recent stories related to Hunter have been presented quite differently by different media outlets. For example, it was reported last year that Biden had been making a lot of money working for a Ukrainian energy company, Burzima, despite having almost no relevant qualifications. This leads to allegations of corruption. Many believe Hunter was using his last name to get the job. No, who would do that?
No.
Oh, come on.
Oh.
This is just terrible. Who would use their daddy's last name? It's like Prince Harry and Meghan Markle using royalty.
Right.
I mean, come on. Then there was the Hunter Biden laptop story. Well, that was quite interesting.
Mm.
Which he is actually a perfect example of media polarization. Right-wing news pressed more for more information, while the left-wing counterparts barely reported on it. Many of them even dismissed the whole thing as fake news. and claimed it was Russian disinformation due to Hunter Biden's recent notoriety. That course will probably be very popular among students. And just remember that Hunter Biden has no degree in teaching or any other type of degree.
He has a drug degree.
Yeah.
Just like me.
Yeah.
That's one degree I do have.
You know who Hunter Biden reminds me of? Remember Smokey and the Bandit?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think we'll get her, Daddy?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
That's good. That's good.
That is so. That is so.
That's funny
true.
that he's gonna go.
Teaching
Y'all
fake news
in New Orleans, run that little crackhead out of there. Y'all laugh his ass out in New Orleans.
I mean, it is way too much. It is too much to
Fake
think.
news would be like
Do you
Joe.
Well, what was he
Leslie
getting?
like
He
that.
was getting $80,000 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the Ukrainian and all that business he was doing over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to know.
Hush money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would like
Yeah,
to know
that's
to
right.
know the truth, but but we're not supposed to because I mean, they're telling us the truth that he didn't do it. And who was getting the biggest kickback? It was from the big man. He said the big man, meaning his daddy. But we can't say that.
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
And here's another interesting thing. I am so glad I don't live in Illinois. I am so glad, John, that we don't live in Illinois.
Uh-oh, what's going on in
Because,
Illinois?
Chicago spent, with so many people having to take handouts from the government that don't want to, because this is what we have. This is what we have going on. Chicago spent $66 million on a hospital that treated 38 coronavirus patients.
That's a little unbalanced.
Could you think? 66 million. How many people
Shit.
in the city of Chicago are homeless? How are hungry? How many children are sleeping in cars?
Yeah.
This just killing me. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, who I hate to say this,
Yeah,
who reminds
Lightfoot,
me,
bitch.
who reminds me of Beetlejuice's sister.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's an understatement. Oh my
I
God!
can't help that. I feel bad. I'm sorry. If you're related to her or anything,
Oh.
she looks like Beetlejuice's sister. I'm sorry.
No, my
Anyways,
God.
her decision to renovate a local convention center into a makeshift, hospital cost taxpayers nearly $66 million. Though only 38 patients received treatment at this facility. This is what the Chicago Times reported last Friday.
No.
The Metropolitan Peer and Exposition Authority, the agency Lightfoot tasked with overseeing this project, overlooked a bid from a construction company, are you ready for this, ladies and gentlemen, that offered to waive fees or donate them to the Coronavirus Pandemic Relief Organization. Instead, officials gave the bid to Walsh Construction, a politically connected contractor which billed the city $65.9 million to renovate the McCormick Place Convention Center. This decision cost taxpayers more than $1.7 million per patient. In contrast, the city spent $50 million total in equipment to equip 3 other centers in the Chicago area. So think about that.
Greed and corruption
Yep.
runs amok. Yep.
Navy Pier CEO Marilyn Kelly Gardner, whose private company has notable connections to the former mayor Richard Daley, Democrat. They're all Democrats because Lori Lightfoot's a Democrat. And not that there's wrong with, there's a lot of nice Democrats, don't get me wrong. Told Walsh Construction an email to Metropolitan Pier Expulsion Authority CEO Laura that day before the selection, Walsh previously received contracts from the city under Daley, whose daughter is now a board member of the Navy Pier. Wow. City officials
I'll be
told the
damned.
Sun-Times that the officials acted rapidly in their decision to renovate the convention center over the fear that Chicago hospitals would run out of room to treat patients during the virus pandemic. The convention center now stores 2,750 beds and other medical equipment, which Santa Monica, the Lightfoot's deputy mayor for economic development, said the city could use in an emergency. Are we planning another big frickin' emergency? Come on. Macon told the Sun-Times that he was incredibly proud of the project and that the money was not spent in vain. Lighthouse made the decision as hospitals in New York City began to fill with virus patients. Dr. Nick, a former executive director of Makeshift McCormick Hospital, said the city feared its hospitals could become overwhelmed with patients. So in addition to the more than $100 million the city spent on creating emergency medical facilities, a CBS 2 Chicago Image found that the city lost more than $176 million in revenue for canceling the conventions. So there you go. That's what you call solid economic decisions.
All right. But y'all wanted Trump out of the office.
That's right.
You got him out. Now y'all got the rest of the story. Here's all your money.
Now, I'm really upset. Now, how come our parents couldn't have had all those contacts? I could do the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, no, because I have a conscience. I'd have to like drink all the time or something to not think about the wrong I would be doing.
And drinking don't never. You still you think about it worse when you're drunk. Trust me, I know. I had a drinking problem for a while.
Oh, this is my article that I brought up. I talked about a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson, which is a really funny guy because sometimes he cracks me up.
He is funny.
He really blasts Barack Obama as a creepy old man. Well, he is right. He is kind of creepy old man.
He is.
Fox News host Tucker Carlson used his show on Monday night to blast B.O., which is Barack Obama, going so far as to call the former president a creepy old man. I just wish that, why can't Obama's go away like the other presidents did? Just go away. You're done. Go away.
Hell, Trump's awful quiet.
Oh, he won't be for long.
I know, but
Carlson
he's awful
said-
quiet.
Carlson said in his response for a new PSA Obama did for NBC, which is PSA is public service announcements, for NBC News, in which he called on Americans to get the COVID-19 vaccinations. NBC is now running, you may have seen these PSAs, with its on-air talent demanding that everyone in this country get the shot. B.O. just released this creepy little video telling small children to get the shot. Obama's PCA, he then played a clip for the PCA, which originally aired last week. Hey everybody, it's Barack. Now that every American over the age of 16 is eligible to get the vaccine, I want to talk to you about you getting yours, Obama said a
God.
this week. The vaccine is safe, it's effective, it's free. I got one, Michelle got one, people you know got one, and now you can get one too. It's the only way we're going to get back to all things we love, from spending time with grandparents, going to concerts, watching live sports.
Bullshit.
He continued. So get the vaccine as soon as you can. Carlson fired back. I just think that is absolutely atrocious myself. He fired back by shaking his head in disgust as he said that Obama is NBC's on-air talent. Not stopping there, the Fox News host described the PSA as some creepy old guy telling your children, your little kids, to take medicine whose effect we don't fully understand. That's totally normal? Yeah. That happens every day? Don't ask questions, just do it?
Right.
Carlson then played a CNN clip in which medical analysts explain how increased vaccination rates correlate with reduced community infection rates. As CNN recently explained, we're not getting our freedom back until you vaccinate your children. Carlson has long been one of the few members of the media to even call into question anything about the virus vaccines. Backlash has already grown against him for using Obama, who is basically considered a saint in the eyes of the left, to try to prove his point last night. Which, the point to me is, who are these guys, who are these people? We gave the government so much from us, and now they're going to try to take our children. They're indoctrinating them with crap at school, and all this stuff going on with our kids. It's terrible. It's really terrible. And people.
And it makes it hard on you because you either abide by what they tell you to teach these children, or you don't have a job.
Yeah. Well, I'm almost done because I can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
No. Unfortunately, there will be a lot of good people leaving the school
Yeah.
system.
Yeah.
Because it gets,
So then you can have your virtual school because a lot of the teachers with
well,
morals.
they will have virtual schools. Trust me.
Yeah,
Within 10
it's
years,
coming.
It's coming.
Yeah.
because it's too expensive. You know, they went after the truck drivers. They're going after the pilots. Okay, truck drivers, pilots, doctors cannot actually treat. They can't be doctors anymore. They have to do what the insurance company says and what the hospital says. If you have a patient that's 87 years old or whatever age, well, you know, we're not going to give her any medicine because now we're going to give it to the person that's 60 over there. Socialized medicine. You're going to be told. A woman, she's 40 years old, has a C-section. Well, I'm sorry, you've got to be out of the hospital in 2 days. She should be able to stay, you know, maybe 4 days. Maybe she needs 5 days to recuperate, but not anymore. It's done.
Yeah, it's like my treatment right now. I can't even get the damn doctor to stand in the room for 5 minutes, and she won't even give me eye contact.
You guys do realize there were doctors that came out against COVID, and the government silenced them, told them they were not allowed to speak about it.
I already know.
Yep.
It's fear factors. Fear tactics.
Well,
You either do what we tell you to do, or you don't make any money. You don't do that. I'm telling y'all, the shit ain't even got started yet. Y'all just think this shit's almost
there was
over.
something happened this week that really upset me.
Yep.
And this happened I was going to skip that article. We're going to go to the next one first.
Okay.
This I want to bring something up about this.
Okay, we'll put
A
that
6th
aside.
grade girl opens fire at a middle school in Iowa.
Oh, I see
Injuring
this.
30. A little female student opened fire on her classmates in Navy, Ohio on Thursday. 2 students and 1 adult were injured, police said. The adult was treated and released from Eastern Idaho Regional Medical Center, while the 2 students, 1 girl and 1 boy, had non-life-threatening injuries. Both remain in the hospital night and require surgery. The 6th grader removed a handgun from her backpack and began firing it just after 9 a.m. The sheriff said 2 people were shot in a school hallway before she moved outside, and another person was shot. A teacher disarmed the girl and held her until the police arrived. Once its investigation is complete, the Jefferson County prosecuting attorney Mark told reporters his office will be filing appropriate charges, possibly including 3 counts of attempted murder. A motive for the shooting is still under investigation. The sheriff said he did not know where the student obtained the handgun. That is the worst nightmare in a school district could ever face, the superintendent Martin said. We prepare for it, but we're never truly ready for it. Well,
She had to have got the handgun from home, but then...
you're right. She had to get what bothers me the most is we're talking about a middle school kid. Middle school kids
6th grade.
She's probably 11 or 12 years old.
Yeah.
Yep.
What brings to my mind what she obviously it's a nightmare. That little girl at that age has some pretty horrific stuff going on in her head.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this earlier. All this gun control bullshit. Okay? If you ever notice how many men in their 60s, I'm going to start with men in their 60s, are out on mass shootings. We have never heard of them, have we? Right? People in their 60s, are they out there mass shooting? Are there men in their 50s mass shooting? Not really.
No.
Are there men in their 40s? Maybe 40. But we're seeing a lot of young people, 12, 15, 18, 20-year-olds.
But our
30
gaming
years old?
systems don't have anything to do with that.
Well, that is absolutely true. Now, I can remember when the games come out, I can tell you personally, I have seen young people. I worked in a prison system. When I was teaching, there was a young boy who took a handgun and for $10 shot a taxi cab driver in the head. He was 16 years old, and he said there was nothing there. When he was talking to me about it, he says it's just like playing a video game. Yeah. My response was, well, in the video game there's a reset button. That young man that you killed was a young father with 2 young boys that you have left home, and his wife.
They don't care.
For $10. Well, there's nothing there. There's no compassion.
No
There's
remorse.
nothing there. We were talking about that today. Remember at lunchtime, Patty?
Well,
And what bothers me the most is it's not just the video games. It's obviously the lack of parenting. But when you listen to the rap music, I don't care. It is absolutely sickening, degrading. I'm going to pop you, how they degrade women, how they degrade
Yeah.
black women. Really, enough's enough. Before you start going, I'm taking away your guns, let's start at the root of the problem. How many years can we subject, and I know, if you look at your young grandchildren, you look at your grandchildren, if you're in their 60s, you have grandchildren, you take a good look at their phones. You see what they're seeing on their phones. Do you know that they can go on their phone, they can watch porn on their phone?
Yep.
You have no control over that. Do you know how violent that is in a young kid's mind? They don't understand what's really going on. Or how many people you can kill in the War of Duty and all these other games.
Yeah.
And it's so graphic. I mean, the graphics are obviously they're great.
Yeah.
But when you see a boy of 11 and 12 taking a gun and blowing the brains out on these videos, what do you think's going to happen in 8 years?
Right.
And that same kid has probably been given Ritalin or any type of mind-altering drug because, oh, he's hyperactive or he's this or he's that. Let's put him on a drug. Let's give him a drug. And then they don't even know some of those drugs, how they are.
Mhm.
They've been giving Ritalin out now for 20-something years, and all those kids they've given Ritalin out, when you hit 21, you don't get that drug anymore.
No.
What do you
And
think
then
it
you
does
got to
to their
withdraw
minds?
off of it.
That's right. Yeah.
What do you think it does? We don't teach. There's no coping skills. There's nothing. So we got to go back to the basics. If you have grandchildren, you still have young children at home. Do yourself a favor. Turn that shit off.
Right.
Instead of using it as a babysitter, have them
Right.
do
Or
something
have your
else.
friend
Do your
sitting in
children a
your
favor
your
and
whole
turn
living
that
room
on.
is a
Exactly.
damn
Do your kids a
computer.
favor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and shame.
No family time.
Shame. Well, you could be in the grocery store and see kids of any age, whether it be, oh, here, Jedi, it's time for your snack, baby.
Yeah.
Snacky. Good boy. They got the phone in their lap, and it's playing, probably, I guess it sounds like kiddie music, and,
Yeah.
but for God's sakes, turn it off. How do you think we raised our kids and took them grocery shopping? You talk to them. Yeah, I know, a novel idea, but you look at the red box, look at the yellow box. Oh, this is a.
I taught my children how to buy
I rarely
groceries.
see parents speaking to kids in
No.
the store.
Nope.
And I mean, having a conversation. What would you like for dinner? What do we need for that? Nope. Mm-mm.
Nothing.
Here's the goddamn screen. Shove it in your face. Or, even worse, one lady's got kids in one basket. She's got pulling the other basket with food, and she's got a phone in the crook of her neck. Yeah, I know. And I know. Do you believe what she said? She's walking along the
Yeah,
grocery store,
that's
and I
true.
just went, you have got to be shitting me.
All right.
Really and truly. This is,
Well,
yeah,
well,
no.
Pat, and we have students that we can call their parents, and what do you mean? It's 10 o'clock in the morning. I can't believe he has a fever. I gave him Tylenol at 7.
Yeah.
You knew your kid was sick. You sent
You
him to
sent him to
school
school.
sick.
Yeah.
Everybody else gets sick because you don't get your ass out of bed.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I
It's
was
Mother's Day. Moms, take care of your
I was
families.
going to say something about this 12-year-old's parents for not having
We don't know. We
the
don't
gun
really know.
locked up in the safe.
We don't know where she got it.
That's true, but the first instinct was to blame the parents. But then I thought of thinking about it. But these kids are so smart that there's a good possibility her daddy did have it in a big safe, and she snuck and watched him open the safe. So when he was gone, she knew the combination.
Right.
Well,
Kids
Or
are
if it's
smart.
a friend,
Yes.
wherever she got it from, no child should be able to get their hands on a gun. Every gun
I know.
should be locked up. It's just like medications when the kids are at someone else's house,
Right.
Nana's house,
Yeah.
whatever, and they call it an accidental overdose. There's no such thing as an accidental overdose
No.
in a 2-year-old because that medicine should never have been available
Right.
to that child to take.
And sitting up in
poison
a medicine
themselves.
cabinet in your bathroom
That's
is
right.
not a safe place
No,
to
it
have
isn't.
one.
Nope. So,
Well, I don't care. If you notice, if people, people says to me, "Oh, that girl's rich. She gets to do everything." I said, "Well, what do you mean she gets to do anything? She gets to go to sports." Well, you can go to sports. How do I do that? I don't know how to do anything. My mother doesn't know how to do anything. I'm thinking, honey. Anybody can do anything you want, guys. People out there, start teaching your children.
Yeah.
They're worth something.
Yeah.
They need to feel. Kids feel worthless.
yeah.
I gotta tell you.
Well, my
There's
daughter
a
would
pet-
love
there's
to
a
put
pet
kids in
peeve-
sports.
There's a
with.
pet peeve of mine right now. And I gotta say this, is the LBGTQ, whatever, all the initials, I don't give a shit what they are. Please stop marketing to kids. That is my biggest pet peeve. If somebody wants to grow up, and I mean grow up, I'm not talking 6, 7, or 8-year-olds, and I'm not talking 10, 12, 13, 14-year-olds.
Or even
16
16.
years old. I'm talking wait till they become adults.
Right.
And if they decide they want to be gay, if they decide they want to be transgender, if they decide they want to be, whatever they decide they want to be, they're adults. They can make that decision. But when you have secret clubs and all this secret stuff, so because, well, you know, it's hard when you know you're really gay and you have no one to talk to. And I find that a bunch of crap because I find more people now are saying they're gay, they're really not, they're all messed up. We see it in middle school, am I right? We see it in middle school, and then by the time they get in high school, and by the time they're out of high school, they're married with children, and their whole life has changed. But yet, this past kind of, they can't get rid of that past, and causes them a lot of mental anguish. Why can't we just let our kids grow up?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we in such a rush to bring on these attitudes and sexual suggestions? Because, well, anyway, they can see it. They can. I see kids pull it up on their phones all the time.
Well, see, it's because of they're bombarded with the video games, with social
marketing,
media,
TV,
with Facebook, Instagram, all of these things, and no one at home is talking to them.
No. Well, and they see the media. The media goes right along with all the the radical bullshit.
Propaganda, I mean, really and truly, they get inundated with all this. So it's like, oh my God, and their little minds cannot take. I mean, I know. When you're little and you start with that, then they just ramp up. Well, they don't know what to think.
There was this woman who had a first grader. Decided that her first grader was going to be a boy. Oh, yes. And that she wanted the school to make accommodations for a first grader, saying, she has decided she wants to be a boy. Yeah. And the little girl had no clue of what Mama was talking about.
Right.
So come on, people, let your kids grow up.
Right.
It's kind of perverse.
It is.
To project that up on a child, and that's what's going on.
Oh, it absolutely is. That's emotional abuse because a 6-year-old developmentally, maturity, they're not. I mean, that's not what their thoughts. Right. Right.
And and like with the gun issue with this little girl with a gun, it's so sad that this had to happen to a little girl.
Yep.
A little girl.
I mean, how whatever she was going through, how was she? I mean, her whole psyche, we just don't know, and it's terrible that these kids are they pick up weapons because this is what they see in their face every single day.
You'd be a bit remiss not to mention Hollywood in this,
Oh, Hollywood,
They're constantly showing this kind of sick attitude, sick person, and the fact that they changed the ratings. What is rated PG today is what was G back when we were kids. What's rated R today is just blown out of proportion. You know what I mean? Or 14 or whatever it is.
Yeah, it is. It's true.
Hell, a lot of the rated R stuff today would have been rated X when I was a kid.
Right. Yeah. Right. And
the PG stuff was rated R and everything.
Even their TV shows. Come on.
Well, and the TV these movies or shows, programs, whatever, are on in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
They're on during what would be
on demand
viewing time.
Yeah.
I mean, go through the guide on a Saturday or Sunday, and you've got all of these different movies available. Even on cable, there's some channels that have swearing in it.
Well, to me, it's some of the music too. When I was growing up, we had music. I mean, people talked about Sweet Leaf Pot or something, but if you were 13 or 14, you did not really know what they were talking about. Today, you do. Today with the rap music, I'm gonna pop him, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna F her in the butt. I mean, this is all geared to little kids.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's take guns away. Let's take guns away from self-respecting adults that.
But a 12-year-old who's looking at charges of 3 attempted murders. What is her future?
What is her future? And what brought this on? I mean,
Well, yes.
Could be bullying.
Right.
Bullying
So
is
this
a
is
big
a
issue.
symptom, not the
Yeah.
cause.
Yeah.
So for God's sakes, look at the cause.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and you've been saying that, so that's so true.
But they don't.
No.
Nope.
I mean, and bullying, yes, bullying is out there. I have parents telling me that, oh, I told my son, if someone hits him, he's to hit back.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah.
guess what?
Yep.
This is what society says it's not allowed, so we can't allow it. Well, I'm going to, and I don't want him to be suspended from it. Well, honey, don't put your school kid in a public school. What do you want me to say? It's not allowed. That's the bottom line.
Right.
How about teaching your kids not to bully, which is hard because let's face it, it's human nature. You know, we get bullied in different ways. I mean, I felt I was bullied in school. I was the smallest kid ever in my class. I mean, when I started high school, I was only 4'7". Well, maybe 4'6 and a half, 4'7". I'm just pushing that, okay? You know how little that really is? That's no bigger than a 4th grader. And I'm a freshman in high school. It was kind of, and they meant it. People would they didn't say nasty things, but it was always half pint, you know, cupcake, shorty, you know.
Yeah.
And that stuff is when you're trying not to be
Right. Well,
Yeah.
cupcake or shorty.
No, I was just sitting here thinking about. I had 2 girls that lived next door to me. I think I was 13, something like that. 2 girls next door lived to me. They were bullying me. And they bullied me, and they knocked me around, and you know, I was told not to fight. Well, then, of course, that's from my dad. Then my mama, she said, oh, I'm going to fix the bullying. I'm going to whip your ass. She took me outside by my arm, took me over in that yard with a belt, and said, you either whip those 2 girls' ass, or I'm going to whip you in front of the whole public.
That I would be upset about, because I think that's awful.
right.
I know my mom told me.
But my mama did
My
that.
mother said to me, Tracy, you're smart. How are you going to get out of this? Because there was a girl at school who taunted me all the time, and she finally said to me, I'm going to get you at the bus at 3 o'clock. You be there because I'm going to pound the crap out of you. I sweated it all day. I'm thinking, I'm going to get out of this. So, you know, I hung around with these 2 guys, Ricky and Ralph. I said, I'm not getting out of this. I said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm worrying all day. She's a monster. I'm 4'7". She's like 500 feet tall. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking up.
She
I have
towered over.
I know.
me.
I have to look up at this person. I have to look up at
Yeah.
this person. I'm going,
Yeah.
she's going to kill me. I'm getting dead. I'm going to be dead. I said, my sister Karen. My sister Karen's a wicked fighter. I'm like, oh, she's a better fighter than me. I tried to find my sister all day at school. Couldn't find her. So I go out to the bus, and there's already a whole ton of kids out there. I'm thinking, how am I getting out of this? I'm going to get killed. I'm really going to die. I was really upset. I'm going to die today. So I think, okay, God, how am I going to get out of this? So she looked at me, you know, dear boy, you think you're so cool. You think you're so cute. I didn't think any of that because I'm thinking, I'm just a short little shit, right?
Thinking
So-
you're going to
That's
beat the shit out
fixing
of
to
me.
die.
I'm thinking I'm going to die.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, she's got big feet. I only wear a size 4. She might get a size 9 at me. I'm thinking, okay, I said, yeah, I put my hand up. I said, no, you need to stop right now. I said, I'm not going to fight anybody. I said, dogs fight. I took my whole hands and I went down my body. I said, this ain't no dog. And I turned around, and I have really long hair. I thought she was going to grab me by the hair, but she didn't know what to do because instead of fighting with her,
Yeah.
I put her on the spot that if she touched me, everybody in school would know what she was like. But man, I gotta tell you, I never had to pee so fast.
Yeah.
I gotta get home. That's I got out of it. But then after Ricky and Ralph said, "Don't worry, we had your back, but we just you dinks let me sweat it out."
Yeah.
They were my best buds. But you know when your best friends, you know, like I had to have my wisdom teeth out. And they told my father, oh, we'll give her a ride home. Don't worry, we'll take care of it. But you go ahead, you go do your job, right? Because he was working at the hospital. He was building shit we had Dr. McGonigal. And I know he's just I don't know what he wants.
Okay.
And you just hot.
That's what I thought it would be. But
So
Spoilt, rotten little brat.
that dog is the cutest thing. I want to get back to this because this was
Yes,
really
let's
do it.
interesting. Okay. Now we all know.
okay, baby.
We all know we have such a nag. I'm going to say this. Oh, our President Biden, I mean, he is just...
Not
he's
my
just
president.
something.
And,
Well,
yeah, and
I get that.
NMP, not
I
my
know,
president.
I know. White House Press Secretary Jean Psaki revealed in a CNN podcast Thursday night that President Joe Biden has been recommended not to take impromptu questions from reporters. I would never have guessed that in 100 years. That would never have crossed my mind, because I would think a president would have to answer questions. But, you know, I don't know. Maybe in all these years of watching presidents, my first president I voted for was Jimmy Carter. That was in my age group. Okay? So all these years since Jimmy Carter, I always heard presidents talk. But I don't know. I could be wrong. You know, that is not something that is recommended. In fact, a lot of times we say, don't take questions, she said, but he's going to do what he wants to because he's the President of the United States. Our Commander-in-Chief is more like a Hider-in-Chief. Just when our nation needs bold leadership to address global pandemic and oppose radical terrorism worldwide, we get a president told not to answer questions from reporters. When he does, we have heard the president say, I'm going to get in trouble for this.
Mm-hmm.
Who is Biden talking to?
Yeah.
Who is he in trouble with?
Right.
Psaki? Jill Biden?
Yeah.
Americans want to know, who is he
Who's
really
really
calling
running?
the shots?
We already know
In the
who's
Biden
running.
administration. Even Democrats didn't vote for whoever Biden gets in trouble with. Many voted out of hatred for his competitor
Right.
rather than any political issue.
Right?
But
Bingo.
national popularity contest for president has turned out to backfire for many now. Instead of back roaring in the 2020s, our leadership is more like a whimper. Even first dog Major has more bite. A growing number of America's daily advice is coming from Psaki or Dr. Fauci. These leaders each have their place, but they are no substitute for our President of the United States. Vice President Kamala Harris has taken a more prominent role. She has been assigned to about every other policy in the administration. Some topics like promoting Biden's infrastructure plan or communicating with world leaders has taken a huge amount of time for the vice president, and I always thought commuting with foreign leaders was our president's job.
Correct.
But then again, being, I don't know, the media thinks that most women aren't that bright anyways.
There you
And of
go.
course, being a woman of color, I must be even,
Yeah.
must be
true.
something.
Right.
Well, the
Other
women
errors-
we got in the White House ain't doing us much justice
No.
either.
No.
Other areas, notably immigration, have left Americans wondering if anyone is focusing on this area.
Huh.
Isn't that the root cause of the problem? A president who changes the policies during his first week in office?
Yeah.
It seems like the best answer to all of us in this case would be to change it back. But one thing a Democrat can't do is admit Donald Trump was right.
That's right.
Or on anything. Instead, Democrats will blame global warming on racism and racism on global warming.
Right.
They blame increased crime on police brutality and yet yell to defend the police so crime increases. The circle never stops.
No.
Nope.
There are lots of questions Americans would like answers to, but
Yep.
it doesn't help if the president doesn't speak up.
Right.
Reading a teleprompter for a speech has its place, but not every place and every time. Remember when we had a president who wasn't afraid to address reporters?
Oh,
It
yeah.
didn't matter how much he was.
That's right.
It didn't matter how much he was despised. He spoke boldly and
Yep.
often addressed issues issues political leaders avoided in Washington. Seems like that kind of perspective is getting drowned in the swamp of D.C. Instead of avoiding questions, it would be great to have a sit down and hear Biden say what he really believes on a range of issues. But that might just help the Republicans a little too much in the next election. Democrats will continue to push Biden to no comment. America's through the entire 4 years. This term has a chance again in the next election. Americans can change this if they want. They just need to use our voices to speak up,
Yeah.
which is probably
right.
not going to happen.
No.
Probably not going to happen.
See, and that's what I like so much about Trump is I could turn on the TV and we actually knew what was going on in Washington.
Yep.
He informed us of what's
Well, wait a minute.
happening.
We knew.
But now we don't.
No.
Trump would try to tell you, but the media would pick it apart and tell
And-
you how Trump was wrong.
I know.
I would
I
like
know.
to see some of those media people and see how they feel now, because most of them have lost their jobs. Because their jobs have now gone to the political other side.
Right?
Now,
Well, girls, it's 15 after already. Dad, burn it.
oh my lord! So that is true. I wanted to. What's my thing here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just got so much stuff we could share. We could actually go on for hours, but
But we can't.
I know we can't. We love y'all, but we can't.
What I wanted to share tonight was.
We got some
All
fun.
you drivers out there, do you know it's a fact, a scientific fact? They did a study on this. Of course, I would love to get a study. I should get a study on, I don't know, I have to think of something. And try to get a grant. And I could write up a stupid thing, you know. I think we could do that.
Yeah.
How come witches' hats have points?
Yeah, we need to do a study on why
Oh,
witches' hats.
Why people think witches are evil? Because they're really not.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Could you do a study on the ELD and show how ineffective it is and how
We could.
adversarial
We
it
already
is?
know that. They've
We
already done a
already, I
study.
mean,
They
that's
don't know
just-
jack. They need a study. It's got to be fact-based study.
They've already done that. We'll give them a fact-based study, all right. Size 7 up their butt.
I got 10.5. How about you?
Up.
Oh,
Shoe?
yeah. Up somebody's butt. I have a 10.5. She has a 5.
You want
Oh,
my
I
story?
have a 7.5.
No,
I got 7.5. I got big feet.
Oh, well, I have an 8.5 and a 6.5. I have two different
that's
size
right.
feet, two full sizes. So there you go. That covers the gamut right there.
Do you need some 8.5s? I can give some to you because someone gave me some.
Sure,
Okay.
sure.
You're
More
actually
road
telling me
rage.
you
Okay,
have 2
let me
size
get
feet.
This is for you drivers out there. When you're driving on a
That's
Friday
your heart.
night, do you know more road rage incidents occur on Fridays between 4 and 6 p.m. than any other time? So guys, when you're driving on a Friday night between 4 and 6, maybe you should pull over and take your naps so you don't get in trouble.
We can't. The ELD won't let us.
It depends on if you're the victim or the perpetrator.
Oh, well, that's right.
Okay, what else did I want to tell them tonight?
We didn't read this one. Oh,
No,
We're not gonna have
we
time.
got. We
We're not
fixed
gonna have
that.
time. But
Okay.
I'm going to tell you.
We got a hero or a dumbass. What do we
Yeah,
got?
I have to tell you. I got to tell you.
I'm in Facebook jail, so I'm the really big dumbass.
That is true. I can't
Mark,
say that.
you're the only
Don't
you're
even
the
say it.
only man
Yeah.
that has ever been able to tame me. I know it.
Oh, I thought it was.
Yeah, no, it.
Got it. Okay.
Mark Zimmerman is the only man that can tame me.
And I thought she was going to say call her a dumbass. It was right on the tip of my tongue to be the second.
Well, it's really hard to pick out a dumbass because there's just so many.
Well,
out there.
exactly.
Well, I
know.
think the one I'm going to pick out this time is the Three Stooges. The Three Stooges
Yes.
promoted May Day. They said they were going to do everything. You having a fit over there? Had a fit. Made people feel terrible if they weren't going to show up.
Oh, yeah. Made videos.
Made videos. There were some of the drivers. I want to give the drivers that went kudos
Yes.
for going.
Jeremy Johnson.
Thank you for standing up for all
Yes.
the drivers. And you have to understand, there's so many of these type of things. It's hard for everyone to get to, and I'm sure you understand that because I'm sure there's some that you haven't made.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get 3 men that started and don't show up,
Mm-hmm.
the Three Stooges, we call them the Three Stooges.
Oh.
Let me think. WC, CC,
Cockwell. Who was it? Oh, Nazi Claiborne, Cockwell,
whoa!
and San Diego.
Well, I was just gonna give you their initials.
Oh no, I don't care. They fixing to ban me from Facebook anyway. I'm learning how to do Instagram.
Well,
Instagram is part of Facebook.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Facebook
Well,
owns it.
my be son of a bitch.
Yeah, so you might maybe, you know.
Well, so I'm just saying, you guys are assholes. Sorry,
Yeah.
but that's how it goes.
Well,
But then again, if anyone knows Charles Claiborne and Will Cook, you would know this is their MO. I don't know Santiago too well, but I heard that he's getting out of trucking. He's going to go into politics. Well, good luck with that, because I'll be honest with you, from what you said about having felonies and all this trouble you had in your life, good luck with that.
and
then
you're
again,
trying
right
to get
now, this
custody
might be-
of your child.
Not right now, this might be the perfect time, because it looks like everybody in Washington has all their issues too. So
Yeah.
go for it. Wish you
Yeah.
luck. Claiborne and Cook, guys, you need to find another occupation. You know? I mean, really.
No, go play with Lana Lou.
Listen, we want to thank, we got to heat it up, we got to get going tonight. You know, we have some witchy things to do, which I don't think we're supposed to say. But anyways,
No.
you know, remember, I want to thank everybody for listening tonight. I want to thank Nurse Patty, Miss Baby Doll for being here.
Yep.
Tim and all our listeners who is listening. You know, join tomorrow night. We have the Schmitz on Monday nights.
Yes.
Well, on Wednesday night, we have, this is a really new group. They're very interested. The conservative, right? The conservatives.
Common Sense Conservatives.
Oh my God, you guys have to listen to them. I mean, it's fascinating. I'm like, oh my God, I love these guys.
Got Arlene's son, the Colonel, and
Colonel,
then
yep.
Todd
And Todd McKinley. I mean,
McKinley.
and John. You have our John. We can make fun of John.
And what exactly was Todd McKinley?
Chris
Was
and
he
Todd.
what was I said? I was supposed to say an ambassador,
He was
a senator, right?
No, Todd McKinley worked for the last 4 years in the Trump administration with Mike Pence. He was a logistics coordinator for Mike Pence.
Nice
Oh,
guy.
okay,
Nice guy.
all right
Give it a
then.
listen. And on Thursday night, so we have Truckers for Christ with Steve Myers, and that's always a really interesting show. I'm not allowed to go on it because I might be naughty. Am I allowed to go on there?
You check with Steve on that one. I don't know. You bring that hat, and he's going to get awfully upset.
Yeah.
Well, you know, people have to understand about witches. The witches' hats are just a fun thing because we
we're
we
just
kind of do it to rile some people up because we know it riles their little butts up.
Yeah.
And if this is all that takes to rile your day up, then honey,
Yeah, right.
I'm on your team.
I tell you what,
Because
if Jesus kept me out of prison because I wore a witch's hat for fun, we in some serious trouble.
well, if it gets, you know,
Yeah.
it brings me to the one time. I mean, I was brought up Catholic. I turned over to be Episcopalian.
Turned over.
She converted. I think she meant converted.
Did you see my wink? Okay.
Yeah.
So anyways,
Turned over.
I tried. I did go. I went to the Church of the Latter-day Saints. I checked that out.
Yeah.
Okay, that was too weird for me.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Especially when they wanted to say, well, you could join the church, but we need to see you and your husband's tax returns.
Yeah. That's right.
That's what I did. I laughed at it. Wow. Oh, you're not kidding, right? And no, they weren't. I thought they were at first.
Yeah, no church.
I thought
Nobody that
I
I
said,
know of would
okay.
ask for your tax
So-
You have to
returns.
tithe your,
Oh, they want, they
Yes.
want exactly what they think they have
Correct.
coming.
correct.
And I just kind of laughed.
Oh,
And then
wow.
I checked out Buddhism and Hinduism because we have to teach that. So
Yes.
I checked that out.
Yes.
Which is very fascinating.
Well, it is.
Fascinating.
Especially, yeah,
Buddhism is very fascinating.
very.
Mm,
Yeah.
it is.
And
Yeah.
I checked out Baptist. I went to 2 different types of Baptist church. And I'm still confused.
Still, yeah.
One of them, it kept telling me how they were saving everybody. I saved, he's actually, the minister after said, I saved a Jew today. Okay. I saved a Catholic today. I didn't know one of them needed just
He didn't
saving
save anybody.
But anyways.
Jesus
but
saved them.
anyways,
Right.
There was an incident. There was one of my daughter's friends, her mother had a severe autistic child. When I say severe, they had to place him in a home
Oh,
because he was
bless his heart.
violently
Yeah.
severe.
Right,
And the
right.
other children
Right.
couldn't take it anymore,
Right.
which was okay. So that was the day the kids were having a Christmas play because it was a Baptist school.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Melanie was going there, and this little girl was going there. So the thing went as I went in, and I saw the play, and she wasn't there yet. She finally came late. So they were having a little party. So we're heading down. So come on, we'll just go down to the party. I mean, she was so upset. I would be upset. I mean, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So we go in there. The pastor's wife stops us. You can't go down there. And I went, what are you talking about? And she looked at the mother and she goes, well, she's not allowed to go down there, so she'll have to wait out in the hallway. And I said, what are you talking about? It's her daughter. We want to go down and be with the kids with the rest of the parents. She has pants on. That's not allowed. A good Baptist woman only wears a skirt.
Yeah.
And, and I had an angel pin on.
Oh.
I didn't know that was outlawed too. I didn't know it. I am so dumb when it comes to these other religions. Yes. Yeah. We were stopped from going. I said, really? Watch this. Get out of my way. Because we're going down to get our kids. Yeah. And you're not stopping me.
Because I'm going to stick you with my angel pin.
Oh, no.
I will anoint you with my angel pin.
Yeah. And at the time, I wasn't as round as I am now. I was going to deck her. Yeah. Because I'm looking at this woman. She literally physically breaks down in tears. She's had such a horrible day. And here's this person, God, la, la, la. Right. And you treat a person like this. That's right. Pastor comes out, he says the same thing. Yeah. Are you kidding me? No. And I said, who the hell are you people? Right. You talk about Catholics, you don't even have a clue what Catholicism is. Right. You have an idea in your little twisted mind, but you don't have a clue. Because we were never taught to do something like that to anybody. Over a pair of pants and a pin? Yeah. You notice to say our kids didn't stay there. That was it. I was just waiting for my daughter to be placed in the
Yeah, well, Christianity in anything has got the good and the bad.
Yeah.
It does.
You know.
It does. But everybody complains about a Catholic priest. Well, in that particular school, that youth minister molested 50 children. Oh, yeah. But that didn't get reported because they're not priests. Right. But anyways, that's too much. We gotta that's another whole story. I know. Yeah. But please watch Steve Mice. They do a great show.
Yes,
they really have some great information. Chris Wyatt, Todd, and John are going to do a great show. We have the Schmitz tomorrow night. So if you would like to do a show on TIBN, give me or John a shout out. We would be glad to talk to you about it.
I thought you and Cheryl were handling recruiting.
Well, that's true.
Well,
I need to talk to you because But give us a shout. We'll be happy to put some things out there. And that's about it for tonight. Have a happy Mother's Day. Wait a minute. Are we supposed to say mothers anymore?
I think we're just sperm donors.
Yeah, you're not allowed.
We cannot be sperm donors.
No, we're sperm recipients.
Right, yeah, whatever.
You're not allowed to refer to genders. Remember?
That's correct.
Have
a happy her day.
Are we the birthing person?
No. Yes, happy birthing person day. Yeah, isn't that special? Yeah.
Who the hell makes this shit up?
Well.
But anyways,
the new generation.
Because I am not I am not from the leftist generation. No. I have my own mind. I can think for myself. So happy Mother's Day to all our friends, and happy Mother's Day to the men who are raising their children.
That's right.
Yes,
that's right.
Too.
Yes.
You get
happy Mother's Day
happy
to the
Father's
dads.
Mother's Day
doing double duty.
Who are doing double
That's
duty.
right.
Who are the moms and the dads under any circumstances.
Right. Under yeah.
So good night. Remember, what's the word? Believe in America,
not the media.
Good night.
My granddad said there's nothing scarier than a pissed off woman with a point to prove.